Public comment period. Notes on our comment period. Comments are limited to 2 minutes per person, and no personal or verbal attacks will be entertained. The council is interested in hearing your concerns. The speakers should not expect council action or deliberation on subject matter brought up during the public comment period. Topics requiring further investigation will be referred to the city administration and may be scheduled for a future agenda. Please state your name and address for the record when you come forward.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And Happy New Year. Been a while since I've been in front of you. Okay, my first topic is trash. There's no way that the citizens of Lake City should have to put up with what we went through during the holiday. We no longer care about that truck. Your business, you're paid for service. And we should have what we pay in monthly for. And somebody got to find a remedy for that. I recycle, they'll dump it in anything when they come by. What's the purpose of recycling? This is the loudest service there ever was. And I even asked the city manager, how many more years we have to tolerate this? I beg of the council, please never sign a 5-year contract again. For the love of God, don't do that no more. Because it's not fair to the citizens. Part two, you have a city that's fearful. You have a city that's fearful. People are not sleeping at night. They're hitting grocery stores and everything else early in the morning time because they don't know what's coming at them no more. I have spoken to Administrator Snowden. I spoke to Chief Coco about some of this. I know the community have a part to play in this as well. But we have to come up with a solution soon to this right here. People cannot live like this too much longer. And we expect to not live like this too much longer. So I don't know what the solution is. We've had 2 meetings. We prayed, we met, had another meeting, we prayed, and nothing seemed to be helped. Somehow or another, there's got to be a solution for what's happened. And I hope that this council can find a way to get some other activity. Boys Club is good. I've been 17 years old, y'all been 17 years old. Y'all don't think about no Boys Club, and neither was I. We need activities for these kids when they're 17, they're 18, 16 years old. Boys Club is good, I'm not saying that. But it's got to be something else. We always young, we know better. That's not the solution for everything. These kids need somewhere to go. Somebody to lean on. And they're owed that much by the entire community. Please, please, please help the city of Lake City to help themselves.
Good evening. My name is Rizal Moore. I'm a resident of Lake City. Born and raised here. Been gone for a while working for the feds, and I've been in Homeland Security and in various positions in different states, even different countries. And I could always say Lake City, my home, was not like I see it now. And it's coming to almost like Beirut. Shooting after shooting after shooting. And we have met, but it's time for action. Too much is going on. I'm getting calls all time of night. Citizens concerned for their life. They want to come outside. Shootings. That's not us. We have a big divide right now between our law enforcement and our community. We need to bring this together. And I waited long enough, and I can't wait anymore. So I orchestrated a community meeting on Thursday at 7 p.m. at Greater St. James AME Church. We have people that grew up in Lake City that are coming home to be a part of it. Because if you're not a part of it, it's not going to work. We'll have to have the same agenda to take our streets back. And the only way to do it is to strategize. We've got some strategies in place that we need to put out there on Thursday and listen to whoever else that wants to show up and wants to save city. And then we're gonna put that plan in action. We're going in these neighborhoods. We're not sitting back. We can't wait for the law enforcement to do everything. We have to go and get in there, but we need law enforcement to be there for us, support us, and understand that the city is what we're here to protect and the citizens that are there. So enough is enough. I mean, everybody here I know is fed up. But the time for all the talking and the praying, yes, I'm a God-fearing man, but God gave us free will and it's time to exercise it. We need to get out there and do something instead of talking. So if you come out Thursday, our community meeting, we invite everyone, police chief, you'll bring everybody you got in your department you can spare. I'm calling the Florence County Sheriff's Office. I want them there because they need to be a part of it. Because the truancy problem is great in Lake City.
What time is the meeting?
Thank you. 7 p.m.
It's on Facebook.
I'm sorry.
I said the meeting agenda's on Facebook.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next.
I'm sure I'm standing here saying what has already been spoken already. How concerned we are about the shooting, the gun violence in our community. I mean, it's in our front door. I left my home one day and came back and the police all down the street right from me with kids in the middle of the day shooting. Mike, I want to understand how they're getting guns like this. I mean, who's providing these weapons and all this ammunition to these children? They can't buy them in the store. So we just wonder if the police can make themselves more visible. Somebody told me that the police are scared. I don't know, I don't blame them when folk are out there shooting. You know, they're human too, but we have got to get something done. I think one of the biggest problems in this city is young people don't have anything to do. And I'm not talking about recreation, I'm talking about employment. They need to have skills, they need to be taught that they can have a life other than gang banging. That they can do something productive with their lives. But if we don't have anything to offer them, I don't know what's going to happen. This town is too small for us to be having the violence that we're having. And the thing that gets me is people on the street, because I've heard some of them talking. Young people on the street know who's shooting, know who killed who. They know, but the police don't know. I don't understand that either. Why can't the law enforcement find out these things when it's being whispered all through the community? Who's doing these things? So I appreciate the time just to say that, but please, 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 do something. When you look in something, a girl had on Facebook yesterday, she came the weekend to spend time with her mother and father. She had to sleep on the floor because there was so much shooting going on. She said, I didn't come to visit my parents to die. I had to watch them die because bullets don't have a name on them. Amen. And any of us are susceptible to this violence. So please, please do something. Thank you.
Ma'am, can you give us your name?
My name is Emma Martin.
I see it.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Margaret Robinson, 141 Brown Street, Lake City, South Carolina. I didn't come tonight to say anything, but listening at them, I couldn't keep my seat. The only thing I have to say is that I'm going to keep praying, but until we come together as a people, things will not change. First of all, we have to come together, and once we come together and unite, things will change. Thank you.
Mr. Jim Eustace in the audience, and if he would come up and maybe provide the citizens with an update.
Good evening. Thanks for having me. I just want to talk to you some about our Christmas and what happened with our hauling on the Christmas week. One of the things I did want to clarify is, in case you don't know, the first thing I do is like to thank the citizens for their patience that they had during the week of Christmas when we were having some difficult times. The trucks that we pick up your garbage with has, when they get full, they have to go to a landfill and have to be dumped. And that usually happens during the day. These places are not open at night. So we had a challenge already with Christmas because of the extreme amount of garbage that happens during Christmas and the amount of trash that happens during Christmas. And then the facility where we dump, where we have an opportunity to dump, was closed a day and a half that week. So that pushed not only the garbage, but it's also the landfill closing and put us behind the 8 balls in the beginning. We knew that and had thought we had done some good planning for it. We had some equipment problems that we didn't expect. The garages that normally service our equipment were all closed the week of Christmas, like a lot of people do. So we had a challenge there as well. We had one truck down, and then on Monday morning, we were coming down here, and the driver was driving a truck to start working here in Lake City, hit a puddle of water in the road, ran off the road, totaled the truck. So at that time, I went ahead and ordered 2 trucks, rental trucks. We put people on the road on Monday morning to go to Cleveland, Ohio to pick up 2 trucks to take care of the overload that we had. Those folks went, they didn't get back home to their families until like between 9:30 and 10 o'clock on Christmas Eve. So we appreciate you doing that. Then on Thursday morning, the gentleman who was our typical driver came in and started working, but because he had been in an accident, he had to go home because of the pain he was in. The second driver that we had to work here in Lake City quit that morning, so we had to get somebody from out of town to come down here and to start the route late that day on Thursday. That crew and one of the driver's from out of town, but we had the guy here, our guy that you all know, probably Neil. The 2 of them worked starting on Thursday, and they worked late Thursday night. They dumped the truck as soon as they could on Friday, worked all day Friday. They worked all day Saturday, and they filled out that they've got a truck dump on Saturday afternoon at another facility about 40 miles from here, so we could work on Sunday. And by Sunday afternoon, we had most of the garbage picked up except part of the Friday route. That Friday route was finished on New Year's Day because we worked New Year's Day. But I just wanted to come up and say I appreciate the fact that the citizens have been gracious and been patient with us during this time that we've had such a difficult time.
Okay, questions, council members?
Yes, I have a concern. Citizens were concerned, it seemed the driver driving the truck and picking up the garbage. You can't hire no one to assist them. It make it look so bad when you see these men working their heart out, doing all that work by themselves. You know, what is the pay, or people don't want to work, or you don't have anyone, because it doesn't look good on the city. Because people say, how in the world y'all got the man driving the truck, picking up the garbage by himself, like a one-man thing, like they're employed by themselves.
Well,
There got to be somebody out there.
No, there's 2 people in the truck. There's a driver and somebody on the back.
That's what she's saying. She's saying that the driver is actually,
Yes, the driver does actually get out and help the helper. And that's why our price is based on that would work. And see, what we do is the route is designed, in other words, if we had 2 people in the back, we could say, for just the sake of story, 700 homes a day. But because there's only 2 people on there, we only are saying 500 a day. See what I mean? So the city is obviously looking for the best price that they can get, and if there was 2 people in the back, then it would drive the price up.
questions?
Okay, I've been through this process before, not with garbage trucks, When you bid a job, you bid labor,
Right,
not our responsibility.
I understand.
You bid equipment,
Not your
not our
responsibility.
responsibility.
I understand.
So, I was probably the biggest proponent of doing this. And I still think it'll work. But I just can't sit back and watch. When you bid a job, if you can't do it, you need to step forward and say, we can't do it. Let us do something. But if you can do it, I need you to step forward and do it.
Right.
So, I expect a whole lot of changes,
Okay.
and I think all the council expects the same thing. And if we don't know about problems that you've got, then we've been held kind of at gunpoint.
I understand.
So, it's my opinion, y'all need to get on it or get off of it. Get on and get out.
Okay. We've had a meeting with the mayor and the manager about some changes that we want to make, and we'll make those more formal in the next week or so.
All right, anyone? Bill?
So, can you share with us kind of things that you put in place?
Our goal is to partner with a much larger company that would have more resources, more trucks, more men and equipment, so that when we have downtime, they would have additional equipment that we don't have to do that.
Okay, but look at y'all, like y'all wasn't prepared for Lake City. You know, like Richard said, when we say yes for y'all coming in, we had our expectation of you were high. And then now the good citizen, and I'm experiencing too, I'm a citizen here. We experienced the garbage pile up, not being picked up. And it is very ragged right now, and we're not happy.
All right, so how many employees do we have
Here,
with Lake City?
two.
There's two?
We have two people that work on the truck.
Are these full-time? Full-time? Are they being paid benefits?
Yeah.
Do you anticipate hiring more?
Pardon?
Are you anticipating hiring more people?
No, we don't need any more people. We just need to have more consistency with what we're doing.
But we had more consistent.
This new deal will make it much more consistent.
How long, when did you enter into the contract?
I don't know, I guess it's been about 3 years, 2 or 3
Excuse
years.
me, if you all could speak up so that the folks in the back can hear.
You said about, the question was, when did they enter into the contract?
I think it's 2.5, 3 years ago.
In 2016, it started in 2016.
What month? July 2016.
The new fiscal year. There's about 2.5 years left on the contract.
You put an office here, you got somebody manning it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, my next question is, you got 2 people on the truck, and one of them's out, what do you do?
Right.
With one of them's out, we bring somebody else in, just like I told you a while ago what happened.
So
We have spare people that we have like up in Clark's area, and we can bring those in.
okay, so suppose the spare people,
And we tell it like that's what happened on that Thursday. The guy who was supposed to do it didn't show up. The second guy who quit, and so we brought a third person in that day.
All right, so the question is, you said at the end of the month that you want to talk about some other areas to improve the service.
Right.
So we're in a catch-22 until that happens, based on what you're just saying. If we're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place until
I'm not understanding what you're asking.
the service is going to be continuous, just as it is now. With, if someone gets sick or truck goes down or whatever, there's still not any dynamics in there to relieve us of the sanitation not being, routes being run in case that happens again.
We have spare equipment, and we have spare people. And I think we showed that when we ended up with 3 different drivers that morning to get started here. So we have spare guys. If Neil doesn't show up, we've got a floater in Florence that comes and works here.
Okay, and every morning we are looking to receive an email from someone in that office that tells us the
Okay.
availability of whether you guys are running on schedule or not, because we actually put that out on our website.
Okay.
And if it goes out there, they give us, well, everything's fine, well, that's what we take for
Would
granted.
8 o'clock be appropriate? Would 8 o'clock be appropriate?
Yes.
Okay, we can do that starting tomorrow.
So now, we should expect no more excuses about employees or vehicles or equipment.
I certainly hope not, no, sir.
Any other questions? Okay. No other questions? Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Mayor and council, Kip Coker, he has another engagement, but we wanted him on the agenda to provide as much of an update as he could to council as well as our citizens. Keep in mind that just this past week alone, that the chief as well as the investigators have logged more than 100 hours of overtime. And very often, when they're in the midst of an investigation, they cannot talk about what they know and those sorts of things. And the threshold in making a case is very different than what we look at, just that seems like it's common sense. So oftentimes, just because we're not hearing what's going on, they're not twiddling their thumbs. They're out here, working and putting their lives on the line as well. So Chief, if you could just provide your brief update, please.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and Administrator, and citizens. First, I wanna say one thing. Ms. Martin, I promise you, the police ain't scared of, okay? All right? That's the first thing. The second thing is, like Ms. Snowden said, we are working around the clock, 24/7. I have partnered up with local, state, and federal agencies. We do have a plan in place, and that plan has been, is in effect. I provided you with a packet tonight. Since September of 2019, well, let's back up just a hair. 2019, Lake City Police Department responded to 10,372 calls of service. That's just through dispatch. That's not counting the folks that call the police department, calls me, calls Miss Stephanie, calls the mayor, calls one of y'all, and y'all call us. So that number is dramatically, it's gonna be a lot higher than that 10,000. But since January the 1st, 2019, I wanna let the citizens and council know what your police department has been doing. January the 1st, 2019, Lake City Police Department arrested 619 suspects for various crimes within the city. And 173 of those 619 came since September the 1st to today. All right? From September 1st, 2019 until January the 10th, 2020, 32 suspects have been arrested for gun violations within the city limits of Lake City. 7 out of those 32 was for attempted murder. And we have 2 active murder cases going on as we speak. One Christmas Eve and one, I think, January the 2nd. We are 100% actively investigating, and arrests are coming soon. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee the folks in Lake City, there are arrests coming. We're just waiting on the proper paperwork. I can't discuss any further, but these shootings are coming to an end. These folks are retaliating against one another. You can go to McDonald's, you can go to a restaurant and enjoy your day and enjoy your night. They're not looking for you. They're looking for specific individuals that either snitched on them or whatever it may be. But these shootings, most of these shootings are connected. and there will be a wrap-up here shortly, I promise you that. I've got officers, Mr. Moore, you're absolutely right when you got up and said, folks in the community need to be in the community. The police department cannot be at every location in this city. There's no way. If one of y'all tell me right now at 7:30 there's gonna be a shooting at 123 ABC Street, I guarantee you it won't happen because we will be there to prevent it. And that's what our folks are doing out there 24/7. But I just gave you a little packet. I got to go speak at Olive Grove Church in Coward for security for their church. So I wanted to be brief and give you an update. There's going to be other shootings, I promise you. I'm not going to solve it. We're not going to solve all the shootings. If you'll notice in your packet, less than 1% of Lake City crime is shooting. Less than 1% of that 10,000 calls. Out of that 10,000 calls, shooting, we have, remember, let me get my page turned. 87 out of 10,000 calls, 87 shootings. And that's people shooting up in the air, that's people getting shot at, and that's people getting shot. 87. We get numerous calls, a lot, people shooting, just shooting in the air. Nobody's hit, nobody's trying to get hit. They're just, mayor calls me all the time, they're shooting again, there's a trailer park. They're shooting in the air, they're not shooting anybody. But I'll be glad to answer any questions. But as far as the investigation goes, I cannot get into the specifics, but I can tell you that their arrests are coming soon.
Okay, 2 questions right quick. What's the average age of the ones you arrested?
Anywhere from, I would say 17 to 24 right now.
What do we find for 24-year-old kids?
We just arrested one that's 20 years old. Just we cleared up a couple shootings this past week.
The next thing is, why do you think it was such a dramatic increase from, say, October through January this year?
I can't answer that specifically, but what I can say is folks try to pick the opportunity to shoot at folks, the retaliation part of it. I mean, it varies. It could be they're home by themselves or they see them, outside. I mean, it's just various reasons. There's some houses getting shot, but they're shooting for specific people. We have had threats within Lake City after the shootings. I can say that there was a threat of gangs coming from other areas coming in to retaliate. Well, I got those threats, and you've seen blue lights everywhere in the city that prevented that night. But to sustain 30 and 40 officers every night, the city can't, there's no way they can afford, we can't afford that. I mean, that's a lot of money when you put man hours, cars, and you constantly gas and whatever it may be. But we have 26 folks in Lake City Police Department. We have to have help from the Sheriff's Office. They have graciously helped us. Every time I pick up the phone, Sheriff Barnes and them sends folks. I've got SLED in here on a daily basis. I know everybody's tired of hearing about the other agencies, but we need help, and that's what they're there for. We've got a lot of working motions going on, and you will see results coming. There's a lot of stuff going on that we can't discuss in public. But we're not scared, I promise. I want to make that perfectly clear. We did a press conference right in the same room not too long ago. We're coming after them. We're not going to sit back and wait on them.
Any other questions?
Thank y'all. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.